This is a CC Radio podcast.
Welcome to the Countdown Podcast. This week is our feature review. We're going to do a TV show for you. It's called The Boys. My name is Wayne.
And my name is Paul. Straight into the boys then. Okay.
See, I thought this show was about gay sex because I didn't know what it was really about. All I heard was The Boys. Wayne, you got to watch The Boys. And I'm like, word. And then I go nail 7 episodes or 6 episodes in a week. So, you know, that's your jam.
Yeah, after I said watch the boys.
Yes.
Because we'll do that on the show.
Right, but I didn't know what The Boys was.
Didn't you? So you've
Nope,
never
had never
Well,
heard of it, man.
Let me tell you then, The Boys is based on the comic series by Garth Ennis and drawn by Derek Robertson. It is a superhero / black comedy satire
Big
of
surprise.
the superhero genre, and it stars, it's created, or developed, I should say, by Eric Kripke, the guy who originally developed Supernatural. It is, or stars, Carl Urban, Jack Quaid, Anthony Starr, Aaron Moriarty, and Elizabeth Shue. With a welcome return.
Elizabeth Shue. We loved us some Shue.
We did back in the day, and do again, I might say. There's a few,
yeah, it's all
few
good.
cameos that pop up, none bigger, of course, than Simon Pegg as
Yeah.
Huey's father, which is a bit of interesting sort of pop culture eating itself, because
Yes.
character Huey was drawn as Simon Pegg in the comic book series.
Hell no. I didn't know about that.
There you go.
All right.
It's 8 episodes long. They're all between 55 and 66 minutes, so all coming in around about the hour mark. And it was on Amazon Prime, which is where you can get to see this action.
That's right.
Give us a synopsis, Wayne.
The Boys is set in a universe where superpowered people are recognized as heroes by the general public and owned by a big-ass company called Vought International, which sounds a lot like Vite, which is the Ozymandias company from Watchmen.
Really?
Yes, I'm sure that's maybe not really into it. Anyway, this series is primarily focused on the two groups, the Boys, the vigilantes looking to keep the corrupted heroes under control, and the Seven, which is the big 7 wicked heroes controlled by the Vought company. And it is crazy. I actually am impressed with this movie. And,
TV show.
Sorry, TV show. Show. Yeah, let's start that again, shall we?
For new listeners to the show, Wayne very often calls movies shows.
And also TV shows.
And gets the ire of some of our
Yeah,
listeners.
they're like, dude, it's a movie, not a show. I'm like, and they're all shows. But someone actually came to my defense and said that in the industry, they are called shows.
Yes, I
no
think
matter
that was
what.
Billy from...
My man.
All right, well, look, we're not going to have any spoilers first. Some non-spoiler impressions, and then we're going to go into spoilers and talk about the first 6 episodes because we haven't seen 7 and 8.
That's
as of
right.
yet.
So we haven't seen the finale, so if you're probably
it's not-
ahead of us.
Yeah, it's not a complete wrap of the season. If you're traveling through the series and you're like, should I keep listening? Well, if you're at episode 6 or at the end of episode 6 / starting episode 7, you're safe to listen to the whole thing.
Totally.
What do you reckon, Wayne? Overall impressions of The Boys?
Okay, so once I found out it was not about gay sex, right? Well, not entirely about gay sex.
There's elements.
Yeah, it's great.
Sure.
It's great.
Yeah.
Whatever. Cool. Show me dick. It's cool. And they did show dick as well.
Did they?
Yeah, the invisible dude went
Oh,
invisible
that's
and
right.
his
Yes.
dick was right there.
Yes, they
So
did. I
anyway,
forgot about that.
so sorry everyone. Here's what I actually thought about the show. Okay, so now I'm like, oh, it's about superheroes. So automatically interest peaked because I'm a nerd. Okay,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, oh, but what kind of hero show is it? Because at the beginning you don't quite know until you see these very high-end special effects and things like that are happening, and I'm like, oh, it's got a bit more style than I was expecting. This is not a CW type show.
No.
Okay.
No.
But I really didn't know like how it was, and once I found out with a particular scene where there's
Don't spoil anything.
there's a scene where there's not the dick scene, but a dick adjacent scene, like
Okay,
an
again,
ass scene.
don't spoil anything.
Okay, where I'm like, oh my god, this is harsh, hardcore hero shit. It's like the real world type hero if it was commoditized by some big ass company. And frankly, I'm thrilled.
Okay.
I'm thrilled. This
So
is an amazing show.
Well, when Wayne said he watched 6 episodes in a week, I guess he means he watched 6 episodes in 2 days.
Oh, it was 2 days, wasn't it?
Yeah, or three, almost 3 days, to be fair to you. So he really has binged it hard for this purpose. I watched it a little bit more teased out over the last couple of weeks.
I see.
6 episodes took me a while to get from 5 to 6. Not because I'm not enjoying it. I am.
Ah, you like it?
I am enjoying it. I think it looks really good. I think the production
Oh, does it ever?
value on this
For
particular
a TV show? Hell
for
yes.
a TV show is very good. So Amazon sunk a fair bit of money into this. They actually renewed it for a second season before it even dropped. They were that confident in its
That's
impact.
very, very... Well, they must have money to spend. Go
Yeah,
on.
I think their performances are particularly good, with the exception of Carl Urban's accent.
Thank you! Thank you for mentioning this, because it was one of my points that I've written down here. Why is it so bad? And is he Aussie or Kiwi?
He's a Kiwi.
He's a Kiwi, often played McCoy, his American accent, very convincing.
Right.
Right? What it sounds like here is that he's a Kiwi doing an American accent, doing a British accent, but a Cockney British accent, but really
Which is
bad.
even worse, really.
I know. If anyone could do
And
Cockney,
it
but he's
slips and
like,
slides around. And I couldn't work out why I wasn't enjoying him at the first couple episodes. And then it hit me with that sledgehammer when he said, like, twat.
he says
And then twat.
he drops C a lot, which I think
Yes.
is very funny, but he
course you
doesn't.
do.
Yeah, but it's not. I don't know. It's like something. There's inauthenticity behind his bad accent, so now it's taking something away from it for
Yeah.
me. So I'm like, why?
Like, I'm sure that's what Billy Butcher's character does in the comics.
Yeah,
but
I'm really sure. I feel
here,
like reading the comic.
and this is odd coming from our show, but I think they ride the C word too hard.
I had no. Yeah, look, like again, I wouldn't have had a problem with it if I believed
Taking
the
it by its
accent.
accent,
Yeah. So yeah.
Other than that, though, he is very good. There's some really emotive scenes
Agreed.
where Carl Urban really nails it. But I don't think he's alone. I think the actual standout here, if I may, is Anthony Starr.
No, who's that one?
He is Homelander.
Now, where have I seen him before?
Did you ever watch Banshee?
Yes.
Yep.
That's where he's from.
Yep.
Man, Banshee was a piece of shit.
No, I liked Banshee.
Yeah, I know you
I
liked
saw the
it,
whole
you
thing.
freak.
I dug it. I liked his character in it. And here he is. And it took me a long time to recognize him.
I was thinking that guy's mouth has got a very specific mouth. It's like no top lip, right? And
Okay, yeah.
no, but he's a good-looking guy.
Yep.
But he's like beefcake or the suit. Is
Well, the
beefcake.
suit, I'm pretty sure they've had. Not that he's a small fellow in Banshee either, but he's not that beefcake.
No, he's like,
not.
yeah.
He's not Superman beefcake, which is of
Exactly.
course what the Seven are
You know what? He
representing.
might. I wonder if he ever gets his costume off during the show. You'd think he would, but it doesn't seem like it so far.
Not so far. Not
So
where I'm
maybe-
up to in any particular way. But he is fantastic. There is this energy to him before even things are revealed about him, which we won't talk about here in spoilers.
Okay.
But that is something off about him. He just nails that perfectly. And then later on, he nails the other aspects of his characters even more so. So
It's-
he unsettles you, and that's exactly what he's meant to be doing.
This is what I like about the show, right? It appears to be one way, and then it has a level past that, and then another level past that. That's what's getting me, because God knows we've all seen these Marvel they're not one note, but they're Marvel characters. You know they're supposed to be the hero.
They're
You
actually
know that-
DC characters, right?
These
So
guys?
Homelander is
Oh, this is a DC
Superman.
comic? Ah, yeah.
It's not a DC comic. It's its own. I'm sure its own thing.
I don't know. They're definitely taking off. Yeah,
They're
Homelander
ripping
being
off
Superman.
because this was written in the early aughts, I think, and so that's when
yeah.
DC was big.
Yes, so that means
And
the
now
deep...
that Marvel is dominating, it's not quite as fit as
No,
well.
I think I
So-
don't know. Somehow it makes it more underground to me to make it not a complete copy of Iron Man. Or
So
whoever.
A-Train is the Flash.
A-Train's
and
the Flash.
Homelander is
Yeah, the
Superman.
Deep
and
is,
Queen Maeve.
Aquaman.
It's right, and Queen Maeve is Wonder Woman.
Oh, but she actually looks like Wonder Woman, and so does they're all like
so
that.
they're very. Those four are very close.
Totally. And it's kind of cool that they've got that as well. I just think that what's best about this is the execution is such that I'm happy to believe it. Do you know what I mean? When things are going on, I'm sitting there going, oh, okay, but I know it's a nasty show. They drop an F, there's a titty here and there, dick too.
Yeah, some nasty sex.
It's
It's creepy.
no, it's like it's very. I'm thinking Watchmen, of course.
Yeah.
Because Watchmen is basically that.
I think that's what I said to you. I said you like Watchmen, you like this.
Totally, but because this is a series, and I know there's a Watchmen series coming, I'd be very interested to see what they do with that. This is basically that movie, but maybe not quite as stylish as Zack Snyder's movie where he can
Well,
throw
the
it in.
budget wouldn't be anywhere
Exactly,
near what Watchmen's
exactly.
budget was.
But
so-
there was a particular scene with slow-mo blood spatter, shall we say?
Mhm.
That looked really... I was like, what? Oh, damn. And I don't know. They really tried hard with it, which is just impressive. So I'm on board.
I also liked Jack Quaid as Huey, Jack Quaid, son of
Is he Dennis Quaid's son?
Dennis Quaid
Oh, my God.
and Meg Ryan.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
He should be better looking.
Oh,
But no, not he's a bad looking fellow, but like they've made him look like a nerd on purpose
well,
because
he's
that's
a
his
nerdy
character.
in the show.
Yeah, but he's like, that's Dennis Quaid and Meg's son?
Mhm.
Wow, that's some gene pool. Dennis Quaid, I still got a crush on that motherfucker.
There's a shock.
I know.
And Erin Moriarty, I think, is very good as Starlight. She does a very good job of playing that sort of innocence. And
Oh, she's the-
not corrupted yet.
She looks like an Nashville like teenager. You know what I mean?
Very back. If we go back to Heroes,
Very
very Hayden Panettiere.
Hayden Panettiere, but
Yeah.
this that specific thing she's doing where she seems to be from the Midwest or something
Mm-hmm.
like that with like very Bible Belt, that kind of thing, nails it completely. Whereas Hayden, what's her name, was a cheerleader.
Yeah.
So she's a little bit more city.
Yeah,
But
true.
but I liked her. Absolutely agree with that.
So yeah, I think all the cast are great. And Elizabeth Shue, as we've mentioned, is fantastic playing.
Just out of interest.
Yeah.
Age, what do you reckon?
Oh, she's got to be in her late 50s.
Right, definitely late 50s.
Mid to
right?
late 50s.
Yeah, fantastic looking.
Yeah.
So,
I
big
think
fan.
Jennifer Connelly's got the moratorium on best looking women over 50, but Elizabeth
she
Shue's
over
not bad.
50?
Yeah.
Is she in Top Gun?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
I think I'm right saying she's over 50. If not, she's very close. She's like 48, 49.
She would have to be.
Yeah.
How's Paul Bettany? Yeah, okay, yeah, cool.
All right. So that's our general impressions. We obviously have dug it a lot. My one qualm, which I'll say
Yes,
again
yes, tell me
generally,
what you
my
did
one
today,
qualm
like.
is I think it's a little padded. I think it's a little slow in places. I think every episode virtually could be knocked back by 5 or 10 minutes.
Now,
and
what
be
you're
better
talking
for it.
about is the moments of character development seem to be a little long.
Yeah,
because by
scenes just
comparison-
run a bit longer than they need to. I
Yeah,
think.
I'd probably go along with that.
Not all
Although-
of them, just
No,
some.
but having said that, I'm still definitely enjoying it, and I was
Yeah.
watching like the beginning of 7 when you came in. But I could probably agree with that. I'm trying to think of something else bad about it. Nothing that I'm really poking a stick at. I
No.
do really
Everything else
like
for
the show.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
talk
go to
about sort of
spoilers,
plot
we'll talk
development and the
about
like. But there you go. A hard recommend from The Countdown. If you haven't checked it out yet, and this is your kind of adult satirical look at superheroes is your thing, to answer maybe, if you believe in it, superhero fatigue, get on it.
And have a think about what I'm doing, which is signing up for Amazon Prime for 1 month, the free month.
That's right, because you can
And then leaving.
sign up and then cancel again.
Although I think they got me because there's a couple other good shows on here.
There's Jack Ryan. And,
Jack Ryan is great.
which I haven't watched yet.
Some
So
other shit that Marvelous Mrs. Maisel apparently is the shizzle.
okay, have heard people talk about it. There you
Okay.
go. There's your advertisement for
There
Amazon
you go.
Prime.
Not even getting paid.
Let's get into spoilers. All right, now we can have at it up to the end of episode 6. We will be spoiling everything that happens in the show.
Okay,
I'll tell you the 2 moments where I got on board.
give me one.
One was what you alluded to when...
The dick, right? Oh, the ass dick. Oh, the
No-
dick when
no
he pulls
way.
his dick out.
No, that was not the moment I got on board.
Which one?
Only you would get on board when Dick came out.
Yeah, I would really get on board that dick. So hang on.
No, it was when Huey's girlfriend was obliterated by A-Train,
Oh God, that was freaky.
including when the jaw floated past his face. I'm like, whoa.
And then the water splash. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
the blood
blood
splashed
splatter.
on his. And I was like, shit. And then you didn't even know what happened until you see.
stopped. Yep.
Yeah,
And he's like, I can't stop. And off he ran. Sorry.
but it was
Wow.
And then you find out later on he was just
He's high
juiced.
on his,
Yeah.
And then the second bit is at the end of the first episode when Translucent trails Huey back to his store and attacks him in there and is probably going to kill him. It seems pretty obvious. And then Butcher drives his car through the front window, and there's this overhead shot which tracks the invisible Translucents being smashed backwards by the car through like
Oh
displays
yeah.
or through goods and whatever, and slamming into the wall. I'm like, that was some fine shit. That was.
Yeah, it was good. All right, that was my moment.
No, but let's hear more about your moment.
Okay, but here's the thing, everyone. Get behind the idea of this, okay? It's actually got nothing to do with Dick, all right? It's got to do with the fact that it's telling me that now this is the moment.
please.
Shut up, bitch. All right. So up to a certain stage, I thought it might just be a clean hero, like almost like a CW thing. Again, I don't know the ratings on these things, right? And then when she's like in the conference room with the Deep, and she's like, oh, he's never crush on you, and he's and then all of a sudden he's got his pants down.
Yep.
And she's like, what the fuck? And
I'm
he's
like,
like, yeah,
number 2 around here if you want to stay.
exactly, you gotta smoke it. I'm like, God damn, this got nasty immediately to me. So I was like, oh shit, it's this kind of show. So I became like, oh, okay, so now it's gonna be all bets are off, which is of course far more interesting.
Yeah.
So that's like me, you're going, holy shit, that's it. And then it goes on to show you that, all right, this is probably how it would work if you commoditize superheroes, because there would be, it's basically like a presidency they run it, where they have like opinion polls going up and down,
Yeah,
3%,
yep.
that sort of shit.
You're,
And they,
you're down in the female Midwesterns, 24 to 30, or whatever
Exactly.
it was, 18 to 35.
exactly. And I've done shit like that before, and it's fucked, right?
You've been
Like,
down on 18 to 35-year-olds?
I have indeed. I was 18. So no, it's more like the just when you look at like metrics for the market to see how well your product in this case is doing, it's a real shitty thing because you don't quite know what to do, and that's what they've got marketing people saying, here's your new narrative for. And I think that's just
Yeah, they play that up quite significantly.
it's huge, and that's like, it's sort of like Veep in a way in terms
I've
of
never watched Veep.
yeah, well, trust me, it's awesome. I don't know, it just made it cool, I guess, because Watchmen isn't quite like that. Watchmen is just, it's nasty, but it's superheroes. There's some government type stuff, but it's just one hero that's working for the government.
Right.
The rest of them are all free.
Yeah.
This is like, all the heroes are actually,
Well, I guess that's the satire, right? It's, we are commercializing superheroes and everything. Now here it is taken to the X level to really emphasize that.
yeah, you're right. It's actually become now, a way of life. And the idea that there's super people among us, that's not a new comic thing, but this
Absolutely
is,
not.
and this is not even a new concept. It's just well committed, well executed. So I'm down.
And I like the idea that effectively absolute power corrupts absolutely. So the more and more powerful these heroes are, most of them are less and less likely to give a fuck. Now, there is an exception to that, which I kind of like. I like the fact that Queen Maeve is not as bad off as the rest of them.
No.
I also like the fact that we've got this point of view of someone who's not being corrupted by the system yet. The
And in fact was
commercialization of
abused
it all.
by it. Because it's heavily implied
Yes.
that she also was sexually abused.
Oh, Maeve.
Yeah.
Well,
Because remember she saw her crying or coughing up in the bathroom, and she says, "Never let them see you."
Yes.
Or whatever. Like, I think she was on the same.
Well, she was with Homelander at some point. He
That's
says,
right.
yeah, and then it turns out she has this female lover, and
that was another cool turn that I thought. So Homelander, for the first episode or 2 or 3 or maybe, he seems like the only hero.
No, only till the end of the first episode.
Oh, you're right, only to the first.
Yeah, because Butcher at one point says, or Frenchie says,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong
there's
with him.
nothing. We can't find anything on him.
Yes.
There's no dirt at all.
So he might be actually.
He doesn't come to these sex clubs. He doesn't do anything like this shit like that.
That's right.
And then he overhears the talk with whatever the governor of whatever state it is, and effectively goes up and laser beams the plane and kills everyone, including the kid's son, the guy's son.
He's a complete bad guy.
He's a complete psychopath.
But that's when you find out, and I'm like, oh shit, he's a prick too. And then it turns out he's almost worse than the
He is
other
worse than
one,
them all.
because he's like, if you know, he's a jealous asshole. He's like, absolutely all out for himself kind of shit. And
Well, he's a complete psychopath, and he's obsessing about Elizabeth Shue's vice president character
yeah.
to the point where he's creepily watching her through walls.
Okay, so let's talk about
And
this.
then there's
for
a
second.
scene where
This is so uncomfortable.
he basically sucks on her lactating
All
breast.
right, so I don't. Anyone who's seen the show may know how this ends. I'm gonna just the conjecture here.
Okay,
right?
yeah. So this is not a spoiler. This
Okay,
is
so
you
I just
guessing.
is what I'm guessing. I'm asking you actually. So, all right, we now know that the babies are in fact made super. They are not a genetic thing. Oh, so we're told.
With
Maybe I'm not
the
sure.
exception of him, Homelander. Where I'm up to, that hasn't been
Is
established.
that so? I would have thought they're all like that. And the reason.
Well, again, there's no evidence of him in that system.
I see.
But then we get him flashing back to that blanket thing, and he's a baby there being observed by scientists. So I don't know.
Yeah, so I think he was in the system all the time. But here's what I'm saying. I think Elizabeth Shue, the reason she's an older, right? They've employed an older actor, is because perhaps she was around when it was his inception, shall we say. So that's why he's all laying on her lap and about to get a titty full of milk from her, because she's kind of his mom. But his obsession with her, we don't know if it's that he wants to fuck her or not.
I assumed it
And
was
if
sexual,
so, is it
but I
an
could be
Oedipal
wrong.
complex? I don't know.
Yeah, you're quite possibly right.
All right, because that was a weird scene where she's like, lay on my lap and here's my titty. And I'm like, oh, god damn.
But there is something between the two of them where she seems to be the only person that can pull him into line. The only person. And even when he destroys that governor or whatever it is
Yeah, she's
playing, she's like, who gave you permission to do that?
yeah. And he's supposed to be the leader of the group.
Mhm.
So it's a real...
And all the other heroes are shit scared of him.
They are shit scared of him because he's clearly the one who can kick everyone's ass, right? But the fact that he then becomes these other... It's not just his, he's a murderer or whatever. He's jealous of the Maeve chick. And she's like, if he, even though they're not together, he's like, if anyone came between us, I'd like to...
Yeah.
I was like, that's the worst kind of like narcissist prick asswipe thing.
Like I said, he's really well played by the Duke
Yeah.
and Banshee.
Yeah.
Really, he's my favorite bit of
I'm
the
glad
show.
you told me where I saw him before, because I was like, well, I could have looked it up, but I did not.
Yeah, I even showed my fiancée Patsy, and she sat there in agony for like 5 minutes. She goes, I don't know. I told her she did exactly what you did. She's like, oh yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the mouth.
yeah. So I think all that's pretty good. We've just had the part where Macaulay Culkin. No, it's not Macaulay Culkin.
Who?
It's the dude from. Why am I blanking on his name? The kid from The Sixth Sense.
Oh, Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah, Haley Joel Osment kind of has come into it.
Now, I saw that, and that's...
Macaulay Culkin.
Have you seen Macaulay Culkin lately? Check him out on the Joe Rogan podcast. It's
Okay.
interesting.
All right.
Anyway, so, okay.
Thank God we got that Joe Rogan plug in. He really needs that help.
The cameos, let's talk about the cameos. Unless you're finished talking about...
No, that's it.
Okay, so the cameos that I see, which I thought were really cool. First of all, Billy Zane turns up.
Yep.
And I'm like,
At the
oh,
conference.
he's quite happy to shit on himself. Because I thought Billy Zane might be... Because he's in Zoolander and all that sort of thing.
I think Billy Zane's been so far out of the limelight for however long
This
he
is
has
fine for him?
that now it's like, I'll take whatever I can get. Thank you very much.
It's a shame, because I really thought Billy Zane had a lot of legs. And... I mean, no, because he did like The Phantom and The Dead Comes the first time I saw him and any kind of thing. Anyway, now that he's there, he knows that he's washed up. It's what's funny to me. Also, Tara Reid, you see there at the Comic-Con?
Oh, I missed that part.
Oh, dude, at the Comic-Con where people are signing
Yeah.
shit, next to him was very quickly Tara Reid, and she sat there for obviously half a day to do that shot.
Okay.
And a couple other people. So there's real people that are actually kind of washed up playing these people who sign comics and conference things. So it's, I don't know. It's a cool little...
Paycheck's a
promotion.
paycheck.
Exactly. I'd do it if I was bullshit famous. So there you go.
That's it. Yes, that's cool. It looks like it's setting up for something interesting to happen. Obviously, the love affair between Huey and Starlight is going to go balls up when she finds out that he's really doing...
The Plotomatic has thought about it. I have not. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there's only 2 episodes to go, so be interesting to see.
Do you have any particular plotometric type things that you think is going to happen, or is it just silly to talk about that now since everyone knows it, but we don't?
Well, Homeland now has their faces, so at some point there has to be some kind of confrontation. Obviously, there's another season, so I can't see anybody majorly being offed.
No, and you think
at this particular juncture, but I would imagine this is the type of show where before we get to the end, there'll be some significant deaths. When I say by the end of the whole show, the whole
someone's got to go, right? Like someone important's got to go, and I think they're gonna do a superhero or something. I don't know.
I don't think by the end of this season. I think I'm talking about by the overall end. I can't imagine all the boys to still be there.
No. That's something's going.
I think it's going to get bloodthirsty. I think it's going to get pretty real, and I would suspect that this is just the first season. I think it's going to get way more intense in all facets.
Oh, they have to turn it up. If this is the thing, then yeah, exactly. So I'm on board, man.
Yeah, look, I enjoyed it. My only problem is it's a little bit long. There's a couple times I'm like, all right, just get on with it.
I'm kind of pissed I got to this so soon. I would like to have discovered this after another season so I could watch 2 at a time.
You're right, I see what you're saying.
So, but yeah, this is cool. I'm definitely on board with it. Guys, you should totally have a go. And you know what? Even if you don't like superheroes, would you watch it, Paul? Would you recommend it to someone who didn't necessarily?
Well, it depends why you don't. Wouldn't. It depends why you don't like superheroes.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
If you don't like them because you just hate everything about it, well, that's not going to change anything here. But if you don't like them because it's also sanitized and boring and
then now
you
would like
same,
this.
Then yes.
Yeah, good point. Good point. There you go. And you'd have it.
Well, that's it for our review of The Boys. I'll give it a score first. I'm going to give it a 75.
Oh, 87.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's good.
But this is more your wheelhouse than mine, so that makes
nerd.
perfect sense. There it is. Hard recommend from the Countdown Movie and TV Reviews podcast. Let us know what we missed or if you disagree. Yeah, we always love to hear that feedback.
Let a brother know.
Well, you can do that via email at thecountdownpodcast@gmail.com, on Twitter at thecountdownpc, or we have a Facebook listener community. Link is in the show notes where bunches of cool people are joining up and we're getting in exchanges with them.
Hell yeah.
There we are on iTunes where you can leave us a review. We're now part of the new category, film reviews, and it's nice to be up there among some of the other great shows that we know.
That's cool.
Leave us some reviews, 5-star ratings, or lower if you have reasons to do so. We'd love to hear that feedback.
Be honest.
As well. And we're on Podbean where you can also follow us and leave comments and the like there.
Word.
Oh, also ccradio.com.au, our Australian home is...
If you use browsers to listen to podcasts, which is interesting.
Yeah, which some people do.
Yeah.
All right, that is it for us. Thank you so much for joining us today and enjoy The Boys. My name is Paul.
My name is Wayne.
And I haven't used the soundboard much today, but here it is.
No, you can
as
just leave that shit out. Ah, fuck you. Yeah, that was worthwhile. Suck it. See you later, kids.
Gotcha.